Hey everybody, long time no see. It's been a crazy couple of weeks between horse births and just work and daily grind. It's been crazy, but we're finally back and we have good stuff. So today we have our first clutch of 2024. So I'm gonna pull it and probably get bit, and yeah, let's do this. We'll get prep going first, and then we'll get it pulled. Okay, so the first things first, gonna get gloves on just because this part always gets a little bit messy. So now we gotta finish prepping our egg box so that it's good to go for the little eggies. So we have these that we prepped, heck, 3 weeks ago now. So what we're gonna do is put some water in there. I just brought this from out there, out in the kitchen. So it's measuring in the jug about 96. By the time it starts mixing in, it'll cool down. But we are just going to add some water until we get to the consistency that we want. I feel bad because the poor kiddo wanted to do this tonight, but maybe the next one. I don't exactly trust that there won't be bloodshed from this female, so I didn't want to put her in that position, either of them really. So I also keep my incubator. I incubate it about 80, I think 88, 89, somewhere in there. I'll look for sure here in just a second. I can't remember. I know I did one year and the other last year. So I've just kept it where it was at from last year. Alright, so this is already feeling a lot better. So what you'll see when I pick it up, I can squeeze it and not much water comes out, but it also stays nice and packed. Might do just a little more just for giggles. Now I do keep water in my incubator as well, down at the bottom, just so that outside the egg box is as similar as it can be to inside when it comes to temp and humidity. That way when more clutches start coming in, I'm not having to worry so much about shock, I guess, of opening the door and having all that cold, dry air come in. I'm just blabbing now, so I do apologize. But so I'm just packing this in a little bit. And we put our tray in. And that is that for the moment. So now the next thing we're going to do, now that we got that mostly prepped, it's ready to go. What I did forget was to put my hygrometer, thermometer in there. So I got my clutch card, which we'll go over. I'm going to get the flashlight out just so I have it. Marker, and then a press and seal. So they're all out and ready to go. So now we're gonna fill out our clutch card real quick. Alright, so now we've done as much of that as we can. I don't know exactly how many eggs there are yet. But these are new clutch cards for this year. I can't remember if I've shown them or not. Designed by our lovely friend Chris over at Balls Deep Reptiles. Yep. Come on, phone. There we go. So, pretty stinking cool little things. I got birth certificates too that he designed up for me that we'll start using this year as well. But okay, I'm going to get some things moved around so that we can actually, yeah, I'm gonna get things moved around and then we will start prepping to do the dirty work. The only other last big thing that we need to prep right now is Naboris's bath to get some of that egg smell off of her. So I'm just gonna put just a couple of, just a little bit. Don't want too much soap just because there's no need for a whole bunch. So just a couple drops. And then this water is still about, we'll test it here in a second, but it was just showing at about 90 degrees. So we'll just double check it here. Alright. So I'm a blonde, it's at 93. So we're just gonna let it sit for a minute. That way it cools down just a hair. I like my soaking water to be about 90 degrees if I can. Just because I don't want to totally overheat and stress them out. I feel like 89 is usually ideal, but a little bit of a cold, so I'm still a little bit congested. It looked way fuller when I was looking at it from the top. There we go. Alright. So I'm going to let this sit for just a minute and cool down, and then we will get into the fun part. So our bath water is just about to where I want it to be temp-wise, but I did just want to talk about how this is going to go. It's supposed to rain soon. So once we pull the tub out, we're gonna immediately weigh Naboris and kind of see where she's at, and then inspect her, make sure that there's no eggs still in her. She looks pretty deflated, so I think she's good. But then once she gets weighed, I'll write that down, put her in the bath, we'll watch her for a minute, and then we'll slowly work on getting the eggs out, get them weighed as a bundle, and get them set up in their egg box, and check for veins, put them in the incubator, and then we'll set Naboris up in a new tub so that she is in a fresh, clean tub, which we prepped a few weeks ago. And so hopefully within the week she'll be back on food, because This did take quite a bit out of her from what I can see. But yeah, that's about how this is gonna go. And our water is just about ready. My Reptile Army mom shirt on. Thanks to my papa, got that for me. So, all right, let us kick this off. Just a little bit of the bath water before we throw her in there. Not that it's gonna get dirty, but we'll test it. All right, so I think by the time we get her weighed and everything else, it'll be right where we want it. So let's do this. All right, guys. Let the fun begin. Oh, Mama. Oh, I know. Holy goodness gracious. You watch, just scared the poopy out of me. Hey, honey. Okay, so I'm gonna get the scale going, because this might have to be a quick turnaround. It's not so much that I'm afraid of the bite. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm not afraid to get bit, but she is the only adult that has ever actually latched on and taken me for a bit of a ride. So I'm just gonna try and deter her a little bit. It's all right, Mama. Oh, sweetheart. Okay. So I'm gonna try and show you. I can't see my camera though. I don't know how well it's gonna show, but you can see how it just took it right out of her. But I don't see any lumps or anything. So I do think she is completely empty. If only you could see my professionalism here. I'm using my armpit right now to hold the tripod. Here, sweetheart, I know, it's all right. All the way in. Goodness. So she's at 1,092 grams. Alright, so now for bath time. I know, honey. We're just gonna let her hang out in there for a little bit. Once we get the eggs in the incubator, we'll go ahead and give her a bit of a light rub down and go from there. So now let's see, we have 2, 4, 6, 8. Look at that. And I even counted 8 lumps in my video this morning. So that was pretty dang good on my part. Not that I'm just bragging. But okay, so I'm gonna turn this off for just a second and get it rearranged over here to do that part, and we'll go from there. Another reason I don't like to use a whole lot of soap, because after all that work, they usually get in here and just start drinking, and I don't want them drinking a bunch of soap. So you only want to use enough soap that it's gonna help clean up their little egg smells, and not a whole much more than that. Poor sweet girl. Okay, so for this part, we are going to weigh the eggs just for grins. She just weighed these, so they aren't too stuck together yet. All over together. All right. That explains where all her weight went, because this clutch is 679 grams. Holy cannoli. So, let us start putting these guys in. This is the part that I'm always so nervous of, is pulling off the eggs from each other. So a trick I learned is if you have eggs that are sticking together quite a bit, if you just blow some hot air on them right where they're touching, it actually will warm up and make it easier to separate them, which I find kind of neat. Ooh. Easier than expected. Alright, this is gonna be the doozy. Look at how together these two are. Okay, there's that part. So now is the next fun part, because now is when we are going to look for veins. So hopefully they'll show up. Pretty good ones. There is thunder outside, and I don't like it. Pretty good ones on this one. Good ones on this one. Girlie, you are making me proud. This is our first clutch without a boob egg too. So I can't even show what that looks like other than to refer you to my old videos. This one is just such a weird shape. And the last one. So, pretty good veins on everybody. I like that. Okay, so now we're gonna finish out. I'm gonna put my Govee thermometer, hygrometer, just right in this extra egg cup holder thing. And then we are going to put our press and seal on. Except I think I went too short. Oh well. So now we're just gonna, well, like it says, press and seal. I'm gonna leave it a little bit loosey-goosey just because when the lid goes on, it's gonna press down. And here I've got some vermiculite. But for the most part, you want it to be as sealed as you can. Like that corner. Okay. So then we'll put our lid on. Finish filling this out because we had 8 eggs. Put this little bad boy in the sleeve. Perfect fit. And then put them in the incubator. So here they are in there. See, they're not touching the top either. You don't want them to be touching. The whole goal is to have them be in humidity, but not getting wet. All right, so now we have her fresh tub with fresh water, good and moistened down so she keeps regaining some of that hydration even while she's resting. Okay, so now we're going to just rub her down and hopefully she won't be too much of a pain. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder, but oh my Lanta. Alright, so now we're gonna put her in her fresh tub and let her relax for a while. So here's Big Girl getting used to her new digs. You can see how thin it made her. She was almost 2,000 grams. She'll bounce back. As long as she's still a strong eater like she was before, she'll be good. Good job, Mama. Get some rest. Okay. Alright, so now that I'm sweating like a pig, and the storm isn't helping my nerves, I'm gonna go ahead and pop off, I think. But yeah, thanks for joining us on our first clutch of 2024 pull. So that was a Mojave Plus Het Hypo paired with a GHI Mojave Het Hypo. So we should get some bells, GHI Mojaves, hopefully some hypos. The goal is GHI Mojave Hypo. But yeah, it's countdown's officially on. June 18th, can't get here fast enough. So, alright, thank you guys so much for joining. Hopefully I'll have another update. I don't know that Urbosa's actually going to go for me. She's actually got me scratching my head right now. So, might be a hot minute before we have another clutch. I've got my pinstripe micro scale sitting at about 30 millimeters right now. So, she's well on her way. So she might be our next one. So, all right, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you later. See ya.